going on, everybody? This is your boy JC from JC Eagles Talk, and tonight I have a special guest, first time coming onto the show. You know, my guy, hey, I love his energy. He's been doing some great things on his channel. His link is below, so anytime you go click that link and sub him up. So let me introduce my guy, PhillyJim.
What's up, guys, man? What's up, JC? What's up, everybody? I'm glad to be on the show tonight and talk about the birds. Talk about some stuff we got to talk about. You know.
Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir. Hey, like, if you've never been on my live before, this is something I love to do every time. Like, I love to play the Philadelphia Eagle national anthem, I call it. Yes, sir. Hey, there's no better way to come into a live with that Philadelphia Eagle national anthem, because I believe that this coming season, hey, we're going to hear this song a lot, because I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to put up some points on people, and when those points get put up, we know what goes down. So, hey, without further ado, let's get into it, man. Hey, all right, the first thing on the list today is the DeShaun Watson rumors.
Absolutely.
So let me get your opinion first, and then I will tell you mine.
Okay. Well, it's a curious situation. The main thing I would say is DeShaun is a great talent. He's a very good quarterback. But you know what? There's too many question marks around his situation, his legal situation, than to just, all right, we're going to go after this guy. If there was nothing going on, then obviously DeShaun is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, so go after him. But there's just too much uncertainty there. There's just too much you don't know. They did just walk away from Ertz, because I think you got to give Ertz this year. And if it doesn't work out with Ertz, then you can think about it after the season, because you are potentially going to have 3 first-rounders if Wentz plays the number of snaps that he has. You get the Dolphins first-rounder, you have your own. So you know what? If you don't really love the quarterbacks that's coming out of next year and you're not really sold on Ertz, then you can revisit it. But these legal things, they take a long time to really get settled and really understand what's going on. Is he gonna clear charges or not? But for right now, I think with the work that Jalen Hurts has put in during the offseason, he's been working out with all these guys constantly. He's an animal in the weight room. You got to give him a chance to show that either he is or he isn't, because we're not saying he's going to be a stud. We're not saying he's not. But he at least has earned the chance to show what he can do. That's where I'm at.
Look, man, I hate it. Yo, I tweeted out something so angry earlier. I'm like, look, whoever posted that little tweet, I kind of retweeted back to them. I'm like, look, I need y'all to stop with this whole Deshaun Watson BS. Give Jalen Hurts a chance. We don't even know if Deshaun Watson is even going to play this year. Even if he's cleared, right? Even if he's cleared on our charges, the NFL is going to suspend him. Period.
Probably.
So worst case scenario, you're talking about he's suspended for first 6 to 8 games. If we do a trade with the Texans, let's just say, we trade with the Texans, they're going to want a quarterback, Jalen Hurts. They're going to want a quarterback and probably 2 first-round picks. So now we stuck with starting the season with who? Flacco or Mullins? Come on now. It's not making no sense to me. So this whole trade scenario thing is is mind-boggling to me. Because personally, I feel like that the Philadelphia Eagles, with Jalen Hurts on a full offseason, with the offense line healthy, he have a shot to show exactly who he really is. The Alabama days, the Oklahoma days, the RPO, like the accuracy that everybody is talking about that he don't have. Ask Devontae Smith how accurate Jalen Hurts is. I mean, they played together. I went back and watched Alabama games and Oklahoma games, and I'm telling you right now, Jalen Hurts is aware of the pocket, what's around him. He have a great pocket present. You know what I mean? So he don't get sacked often. All right. The only thing about Jalen Hurts from the 4 games that the Philadelphia Eagles fans saw last year was maybe the turnovers. But besides that, he literally slayed the number 1 defense last year on his first start. Like, with lack of practice with the number 1s, we didn't even have number 1s, the number 2s and 3s, basically. So this whole DeShaun Watson rumor is BS, and it's frustrating. So, I mean, I'm just hoping that Jalen Hurts is blocking everything out. I know he's mentally tough. Yeah, exactly. So he's mentally tough. Even when he got benched at Alabama, he didn't cry or pout about it. He was ready to go back in. Exactly.
He went back the next year. That's what everyone forgets. Everyone says, oh, well, he just transferred to Oklahoma. That's not true. If you guys paid attention, you would know that when Jalen was benched during the championship game, he came back to Alabama the next year. Tua gets hurt SEC championship game against Georgia. They're trailing by double digits. Jalen comes in. He's calm. He's cool under pressure. He leads them to the win. Alabama gets back to the playoffs where they would play Clemson in the championship, and they would lose that game. But he led that team in that game under high stakes after he was holding the clipboard all season, not playing. The guy has it. The guy just has it up here. He's just very mentally tough, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, before I move on, I like to give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Big Play Slay, Sports Talk with Let's Go Bird, Haiti Sunshine, Primetime Stevens, Brenda Cox. Hey, thank you for joining this live. Hey, don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel and my man PhillyJim. His link is below. Because we about to spit some fire tonight. Hey, we have a question. All right. Go. So, we have a statement. So let's go. Let's go Birds. Hurts beat the number 1 defense in his first game. You can argue that they didn't have film on him. Okay. He went in a shootout with Kyler Murray, was working with AK-47s and Mac 11s with D-Hop and Christian Kirk. Look, I'm telling you right now.
And what do we have?
Ward,
a bunch of unproven guys. My point is that Hopkins arguably best receiver in the league. We got Fulgham.
Exactly.
We had an old washed up Alshon Jeffrey in that game. Greg Ward, who I really like, but he ain't on these guys' level. You know what I'm saying? So Jalen, he really did have a good performance. The defense is really why we lost that game. We got down by a lot early, 16-0 out of the gate. But he led us back, and we could have potentially took that game to overtime. But it is what it is, man. The team is not going to be the same. They've made improvements in the offseason. The offensive line's coming back. It's going to be better. The receivers are going to be better. Devontae is going to add that dynamic. You got a guy that can just win a one-on-one matchup, and then the other guys can do their thing. Rager wants to come back and prove that last year was not who he really is. He wants to show what he can do. And you got other guys like Fulgham, Greg Ward, and they're building that also can bring something to the table.
All right, so let me ask you a question real quick. So if you was the Philadelphia Eagles, Howie Roseman, everybody think that Howie Roseman is trying to make a big splash to save his job. So that's why this whole DeShaun Watson rumor is still continue to
Can I just say one thing real quick?
Go ahead.
Can I just say one thing real quick? If I was Howie Roseman, I would just resign. Just get out of here. Just get out of town. Just get out of town.
Well, that answers my question then.
No, but seriously, go ahead with the question. I'm sorry.
I was just trying to say, like if you was Harry Roseman, like everybody think that he's trying to save his job, even though I don't think that he's going like Jeffrey Lurie would ever fire Harry Roseman because he's taking most of the blame. Even though I think that Jeffrey should also take some of the blame.
Yep.
So I feel like as long Harry Roseman able to mess things up and patch it back up, as long he don't bring the franchise under. I don't think he will ever go anywhere. So with that being said, I think that he's trying to make a big splash. DeShaun Watson to him is a big splash. Like, how do you feel about that? I mean, do you really think?
I see where you're coming from. Yeah. I see where you're coming from. But let me say this. I have been saying since the end of 2019, when the Eagles lost to the Seahawks in the playoffs, that going into last season, that it was hot seat year for both Doug and Howie. And they ended up getting rid of Doug. And Doug, there's no excuse for his coaching. There's no excuse for the terrible vanilla play calling that was going on. But, it was a collective effort from Wentz and Doug and Howie, all three of them. So usually when you see the head coach go, you see the general manager go. So I kind of feel like with what Howie's done the last few drafts, first you pass on DK, you take Whiteside and Rager, even though we hope he bounces back. You saw what Jefferson did last year. That's two enormous misses in a row. So you got to be better than that as a GM. Your contracts have not been great. You've overpaid Alshon Jeffrey. The reason why we didn't have a lot of cap space was because you signed guys, you overpaid them to contracts that they didn't really deserve, and you restructured to create more cap space at the time, but then you push it all the way forward. So now we're paying it. Now we're paying the price now. So to me, he hasn't done a great job as a GM. He gets all the credit for the Super Bowl year, but that was a collective effort. That was just a perfect storm because you sign a lot of guys to one-year deals. You sign a lot of guys to one-year deals, but that doesn't work every year. Every once in a while, it'll be a perfect storm. But he tried to duplicate it 2018, 2019, blew up in his face. So I feel like he's got to go. And as far as he's going to make a big splash move, haven't we heard the same song and dance? Jalen Ramsey rumors in the past.
Absolutely.
But he's not the type of guy that's going to give up. Oh, I'm going to give up all these first-round picks. I'm going to give up all these, but we've never been in a situation where we have multiple firsts like we do now. Exactly. But he's never, when has he ever made a move like that? So I feel like if they are going to make a move for Watson or make an offer, it's not going to be until after this season. Or I feel like it shouldn't be until after the season for the reasons I stated earlier. Too much uncertainty around the situation. You don't know if he's going to clear or not. And even if he does clear, he's going to be suspended, like you said. And it just takes too damn long to clear. So you got to go in with Ertz. And if Ertz really shows that he can be the guy that can lead this team for the future, then you stick with him. And then you're in a great situation because you got 3 first-round picks. You can use it to put more pieces around the roster that needs it, especially on defense and other areas on offense. So you know what? Those are my thoughts on Howie and all of that stuff that you mentioned.
Look, I agree, man. Hey, I literally have nothing else to add because, besides the money situation, even the Zach Ertz and the Fletcher Cox, they kept on pushing the money back. Fletcher Cox is owed $15 million next year and then $16 the following year. So we got stuck with his big contract because all these bonuses, he kept on pushing it back, restructuring deals. And now we got guys that it's impossible to get rid of. Nobody want to pick up that $16 million cap hit. I mean, that's why Zach. Okay, so we about to move on real quick, but before we move on, Sports Talk, Let's Go Bird just subbed you up, man. Hey, you on fire,
Appreciate it. Let's Go Birds. We'll see you over there.
So Zach Ertz. All right. Zach Ertz. I have an issue with Zach Ertz reporting to camp. I knew he was going to get report to camp just because if he don't report, it's 40,000 a day. So who in the right mindset would not report to camp unless you literally made up your mind and say, hey, no camp, no season, I'm done. Like seriously. So like I don't understand. So I'm not,
unless you retire or something like crazy like that.
Yeah, I'm not putting too much stock in Zach Ertz reporting to camp just because I feel like that he could still get traded during camp. So, but if he does stay, my issue with this, like I got so much heat. I posted a video yesterday. I don't want Ertz on the team if he wants to be tight end number 1. We need to see what Dallas Goedert is about. We know what Zach Ertz is. He's not our future. And we know that. We know he's not our future. So why not have Dallas Goedert number 1 and Zach Ertz number 2? But he's getting paid $8.5 million. And we know Howie, just like he did last year with Alshon. When Alshon came back, like Travis Frogum went to the bench because if he's paying you, he wants you on that field. And that's how him and Doug always was bumping heads too. So it wasn't always Doug. I believe that Doug kind of gave up because he was like, he's in a no-win situation. He did not want to bench Wentz, but he had to. He did not want to, start Alshon. He had to. Like there was constantly bumping heads because Howie told him exactly who he wanted to start because they was getting paid. So unless I want Zach Ertz to stay on the team, if he's okay with being tight end number 2, not tight end number 1, but I believe that he's going to have an issue with that because he's trying to get a bigger contract. What team pays for a tight end number 2, big top 5, top $3? I haven't seen it. Like I'm not going to pay no tight end. It's not going to
happen. He's not going to get the money. He's not going to get the money he's looking for unless the only way he would get a really good contract like the money he's looking for is if he resets his sets his stock higher than it is by coming into the season and having a few good games, and then the Eagles trade him by the trade deadline. That's the only scenario that happens. But I agree with what you're saying about Goedert. Now, to me, for the past few years, it's been more about Goedert than it has been about Ertz. Because Ertz, his last really, really good season was when he had set the record for like the most catches by tight end in a single year.
The Super Bowl year.
Previously held by Jason Witten. So you know what? But ever since they drafted Goedert, I've been saying to people, now hold up. This guy's better than Ertz. Because when I look at Ertz's game, he does not have a lot in his arsenal. What he has is he's got great hands.
Exactly.
He's a crisp route runner. That's it. He does not block, so he does not make an impact in the running game. Goedert does. Goedert is a monster in the open field. He's a yak machine. If you throw him the ball, he's too big and strong. He's going to run through these little defensive backs that are trying to bring him down. He's faster than Ertz. He's just a better overall tight end than Ertz, and it's pretty much been that way for a few years. So I've been looking at it like he's the best tight end on the team for at least the past 2 years now. And now he's going into a year where it's a contract year for him. And he's much younger than Ertz, obviously. So It's not really up for discussion for me. Like Ertz either he got to be second string or he got to go. He got to go. And you know what? I honestly would be okay if he went because it's like there's other issues on the team. And if you get rid of Ertz, you save like $8 million. Sign Steven Nelson, which would be a great pickup for the secondary, which we need. Or we're going to be stuck out there with Michael Jaquette and people like that getting burnt. That's not something I want to see this year. So you know what? If Ertz wants to be here, he can be here. But if he wants to make a scene and he wants to say, well, you know, I've been on the team for this amount of time and I helped us win a Super Bowl, I'm not trying to hear all of that. Yeah. I'm not trying to hear that. You are no longer the guy you used to be. Goedert has been better than you. So It's Goedert's time. He's going to start. You're going to back him up. And that's that. That's what I would say.
But do you think he will be okay with being tight end number 2 and not cause a stink about it?
I don't really know. That's kind of hard to say, but I don't think Ertz has never been like that type of guy. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like it's gonna happen. I just feel like, well, I set this record like a few years ago, and I was on the team that won. Like Goedert, he wasn't here when we won the Super Bowl, so I was here. Like I feel like that's what happened these past few years. They've been always playing favorites with the guys that was on the team back then. Like you saw him playing favorites with Alshon, which I thought was ridiculous because the way Travis Fulgham was playing, man, it was outstanding. This guy was, at one point in the season, he was like one of the top leading receivers since he started playing. He was just going out and getting it done every week. And they were just like, you know what? Forget that. Like when Jeffrey was back, and it was bad. It was bad for not only the team, but it was bad for Fulgham's development as a player because it threw off his rhythm. He was getting very comfortable. He's a young player getting confident in himself. So you know what? I feel like if they do all this favorite stuff, it's not going to be good for the team right now. It's not going to be good for the team in the future. I think you got to let Goedert loose and let him go show what he can do because I really think if they let him go out there and play how he's capable of doing without watching over his shoulder like, oh, I'm going to get all my playing time cut because of Ertz. Guess what? This guy could really be the breakout player for the Eagles, I think.
Yeah, I think, look, we need to sign Goedert now because if he goes out and balls out this season coming up and put up some great numbers, we're going to have a problem. Because
we're going to have to pay him a shit ton of money.
Yeah, we're going to have to pay him some more money. And who knows? Now we might have to I don't think we pick up his 5th-year option yet. So we could always pick up the 5th-year option. So next year will be a year 5. But after that, if we don't agree to a contract next offseason, then the following offseason, franchise tag. But I don't want to go through that. I think that we should find whatever little money that we have left and sign him this offseason because next season we got $40+ million in cap space.
Be able to make a lot
so we'll be good. Exactly. Yep. But I have so Matthew said Hurts already asked for a trade. Well, he did ask for a trade. And this past offseason, Howie Roseman gave Hurts permission to go find a team. Just go find a team, but he has to come back with the right trade value. And I believe that Howie, exactly. I believe that Howie Roseman received some trade offers for Hurts, but it's probably like a 5th, 6th, maybe a 6th, 7th round. The last time I heard that the Buffalo Bills was trying to offer him a 7th round pick and a 7th round tight end. What in the world is that? That's like zero player to me. That's zero value. I can't do nothing with a 7th round tight end and a 7th round pick for Zach Ertz. He's a Super Bowl winning tight end. He set the NFL reception record the year we won the Super Bowl. He still got 3-4 more good years in him if he goes to the right team. So I don't blame Howie for keeping him on the team, but I need Howie to tell Hurts, look, you're number 2 and Goedert is number 1. You're no longer in our future, so you can either ball out for some other team to look at you, or you could whine and pound, and then next year when you get cut, you have no value. So this is on you. If you're trying to get a big contract, you need to put your ego aside and just go out and ball this season, period. So,
right.
I mean, do you have anything else to add before we move on?
Yeah, it's like you said, man. Some of the trade offers were just not what Howie or the team was really looking for. But there's just one thing I want to add to that. Obviously, it's not going to be extremely high because he's getting old. He had an injury last year. He just hasn't been that guy for a couple years, like I've been saying.
But do you think Goedert he's worth a 4th round pick at least, though? Do you think he's worth at least a 4th round?
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
Now, I feel like the reason why they're keeping him on the team is they're gonna let him play, and then when people see that, you know, he can still play at a high level and he can still be a number 1 tight end, then the Eagles are probably gonna sell high on him at that point. But I feel like his value took a dip in the last year compared to other years. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with Ertz. But I'm not with that with whole he's going to be the number 1 tight end and all this other stuff. To me, he hasn't been I've said it already on here, but he hasn't been the best tight end that we've had on the roster for a couple years. So I just feel like it's time to go.
Yep. Hey, one more fact before we move on.
Go.
Hey, for y'all who's watching out there, did y'all know that Zach Ertz is one of the worst tight end in YAC, yards after catch?
I knew that.
He has 0. Like, as soon as he catch the ball, he's down. Yes, he could run some great routes, some good hands, but hey, he wants to get paid top 3, top 5 tight end money. He's not up there with the Kelsey, the Kittles, the freaking even Logan Thomas last year played way better than Zach Ertz last year for the Washington football team. Like Hunter Henry, he played better. Jared Cook played better. Like all these tight ends.
Aaron Waller
balled out. I would put Aaron Waller as the 3rd best tight end.
Probably.
I would put either Kittles or Kelsey at 102. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could either debate, and then 3 will be Waller. So I don't even think Zach Ertz is top 5, top 6 tight end. So you cannot get paid top 5, top 6 money. So it is what it is, man. So like I know y'all gave me hell about it, but y'all just thinking with your hearts and not your head. Look. After Brian Dawkins left the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't care who else left. Because if the Philadelphia Eagles could let Brian Dawkins, Wolverine, the heart and soul of Philadelphia defense, walk and go join another team, I didn't really care.
That move
like McNabb left. I mean, it just a whole bunch of stuff. So stop being emotionally attached to Zach Ertz, because he's not going to be here next year. He's not our future. So the sooner y'all get over it, the sooner y'all will stop sending me some hate messages and stuff like that, because I'm telling y'all the truth and y'all can't handle the truth. Let's move on. Can't handle it. Xavien Howard. All right. So I think the beginning of this week or last week, the Bleacher Report said that the Philadelphia Eagles are in position, the best team, our favorite, to get Xavien Howard. They didn't say, hey, we're going to get him, but they said that we could. Yeah, we could get him. And then it blew up. Oh, Philly going to get it. Like, I would just hope that people that settle down and just read, just slow down and read before they react to everything that's getting put out there. What is your thought on, one, the chances of Xavien Howard coming to Philly, and 2, we be able to afford him?
I don't think we could probably afford him this year, but as far as moving on, we could probably afford the contract. But I just don't know if I would do it. He had some off the field issues this offseason, and I don't really think that's something that the Eagles have been really interested in having. If you just look at the past several years, we've never really been dealing with all of that stuff. So, it just depends, man. It just depends on the price. Are they going to want a first-round pick and then some for him? He's a good player. He's very talented. But I don't know if the Eagles would do that. I think they would most likely see if they could get something a little cheaper, maybe trade a third or fourth-round pick for a starting corner, maybe sign a guy. We've talked about Steven Nelson. I think that's probably the direction they would go in. And then, you got all these first-rounders. I feel like they're going to try to rebuild the secondary a little better with those draft picks come next draft. That's what I see.
Yeah, all right. Look, Xavien Howard had 22 picks. 22 picks.
Yep.
Last year in 2020, he had 10. The year before that, in 2019, he had 1. In 2018, he had 7. In 2017, he had 4. In 2016, he had 0. So basically, it's like a hit or miss, it seems like to me, because he's injured. Like the times that he had the 1 sack, the 0 sack, he was injured. So to me, there's an injury history following him. That's how he has to be able to play in order to be. When he plays, oh man, he's a shutdown corner. He's a ball hawk, like you said. But he also got an injury concern with that. He signed a 4 or 5 year, $76 million in 2019 after he only had that 1 interception. So Miami took a gamble on him. He was like, hey, you only got 1 pick. They signed him to that extension that off season. And then it pays off because he got 10 picks. But the real reason why that he's so bitter and want a new contract is because Byron Jones got signed to a 4 year, $85 or $86 million, making about $9 million more than him. And Byron Jones only had 2 picks last year. So he kind of looked and said, what? This dude right here on my team, I'm better than, is making more than me? Oh, hell no. And I play better than him? Nah, hey, let's redo our contract. And that is so unfair to the team themselves, because how in the world you sign a contract the year before after you had 1 pick and now you got 10 and now all of a sudden you want to redo your whole contract? I don't get that. To me, that's selfish. That is at least wait a couple years, and just wait till the ink to dry. You literally got the start in the offseason of 2019. So, I mean, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, that's not the type of guy that I want in Philly, because I feel like that he's selfish, because anybody that's doing that to their team after they believed in you, after a one interception season, and they made you a top paid corner, and then you're going to turn around and just trying to screw them and hold out and all this crap. But they're all about the money. About the money. It's not about the game no more, So, man, yeah. So, yeah, man. I mean, that's my take on it, man. I don't know how you feel about it, but it just
pretty much agree. I mean, I don't think this is the right situation. I don't think it's the right fit. I feel like the Eagles need to ride with what they got. I just feel like hanging on to the picks. Address that need elsewhere. There's going to be guys. There's going to be surprise cuts when we get training camp. Teams are going to surprise guys and it's going to have you like, whoa, wasn't expecting this guy to get cut. He's going to get picked up by another team and play really well. There's other guys, Steven Nelson, that's on the market they could go after. So, I just don't think it's the right situation. I think he's got a big contract. He had some off-field issues, injury problems, injury concerns. I don't feel like it's the right fit for us. I feel like we'll address it another way.
All right. And you know what? And with that being said, I really think that our last coaching staff was bad at player development, because every player that left our team last offseason, the Sidney Jones, Russell Douglas, Ronald Darby, Nelson Aguilar, they were balling out. Like they could easily been in each position the best player on our team if they play like that over there in Philly. I just feel like that the coaches that we had, once Frank Wright left and Dave Filippo left, I mean, that's when Carson Wentz just went completely to crap. Like his technique went out. I mean, everything went out because I feel like that the coaching staff that we had was so bad in helping players develop. So I feel like if this coaching staff right here that Nick Sirianni brought in could develop the young corners that we have, the linebackers, the defensive line, the offensive line that we have, I feel like that we are in a great position. A lot of people is picking us to finish bottom last in the division only because of Jalen Hurts. Yo, we have a top 5 offensive line. I think PFF ranked our offensive line 7th. So that's good. There's 32 teams in the league. They rank our defensive line, I believe, either 5 or 7 or something like that. That's good. So where's the issue at? Jalen Hurts. They believe with Jalen Hurts being the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback that we will be the sorriest team. Jalen Hurts is not even ranked in the top 32. He's ranked number 40. Man, the last time I checked, there's 32 teams. That's when I stopped reading PFF. That is when I stopped reading. Pro Football Focus is so biased and so unrealistic because how are you going to put a starting quarterback at number 40? So that means you got the rookies, the undrafted rookies, unproven, and the backups to the backups to the backups before the Philadelphia Eagle.
You got people like Case Keenum over Jalen Hurts.
So how do you feel about the whole ranking thing with PFF with Miles Sanders 27th, Jalen Hurts is 40? I mean,
have anybody that's paid attention to what I've ever said about Pro Football Focus, I put it to put it lightly, put it PG in case there's any kids watching. I call it cherry-picked BS because that's what it is. They get all these made-up stats to measure how good a quarterback is. Like, you got some stats you never heard of. Like, I'm just sitting here like, what the hell is that stat even talking about? Like, they make up stuff that makes them sound weird. You got guys that are, it's pretty much ran by nerds, has never played sport before, that doesn't really know anything about football. That's why they say Miles Sanders ain't that good. Jalen Hurts ain't that good. All these guys ain't that good. It's like, you guys are judging the Eagles based off of this is why people are saying it's not really just about Jalen Hurts. It's part of it, but it's just the fact that, they were a 4-win team last year. They didn't do nothing in the offseason. They're going to win 4 games again. That's not going to happen. Do you guys realize that when the Eagles were last place in 2016, they came back the next year, they won the Super Bowl? Do you realize that 2 years ago, the 49ers were in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs? Year before, they won like 2-3 games. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't always be going off of how the team was because injuries happen. We started a different offensive line every single week. We got Jordan Mailata. We got Kelsey. We got Brandon Brooks. We got Lane Johnson. We got Landon Dickerson that we drafted. We got Sayamalu. We got some really good guys. Like, our offensive line is a lot better than most. A lot better than most when healthy. It's probably one of the better lines when healthy. So Hurts is coming in. He's got more weapons. Devontae, who's really familiar with. A lot of the guys that he's just been working with in the offseason, been working with Quez, been working with Hightower, Fulgham, Greg Ward. He's been working out with all his guys. He's been working out with Rager. He's been working out with the whole receiving core. All right? These guys are young and hungry, and they got a chip in their shoulder. They're going to come in and show, like, we're not just like some scrubs, some bums that you guys can brush over. And they're going to come in, and they're going to do what they got to do. So As far as being last in the division, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the division is there for any team in the division to take. Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, doesn't matter. I feel like none of the teams really separated themselves from each other. Washington is missing that quarterback. Ryan Fitzpatrick is not consistent enough. And what you're going to do, put Heineke in? Like, are you really going to put all your chips on Heineke? That's a great team. If they had a quarterback, that's who I would probably pick. But they don't.
I said the same
they
thing.
Don't. Fitzpatrick is like, he's good for 5-6 games. Then, all of a sudden he's looking terrible. You know what I mean? Then you don't know how Dak is going to come off of an injury. Their defense did not make enough improvements. The Giants, Daniel Jones, extremely inconsistent. This guy been fumbling the ball like it's nobody's business. So what do you expect me to say? Like, no, I don't think we're going to be last in the division. I feel like the division is going to be right there for us. It's going to be right there for anyone else because none of these teams really made extreme moves to really push them in another direction. So, no, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, I agree. So, hey, since we're on this topic, what's your record prediction for the Philadelphia Eagles? Like, I mean, imagine for the Cowboys, the Giants, Washington football team, if you did have a chance to look at all the schedules and stuff like that.
I did. Okay. I had us winning 9 games. I had us going 9-8. And then I had all the other teams around 8, somewhere around between 7 and 9. Like it's really close, just like it's been like for the past couple of years. But I think this division is there for the taking, and I do think we can win it. I do.
Okay, yeah. Look, I got us at 11-6.
Okay.
I mean, only because every year around the league, there's teams that you're not supposed to beat and you beat. And there's teams you're not supposed to lose to and you lose to.
Right.
But I feel like that with the Philadelphia Eagles, there's 2 advantages going into the season. The unknown factor. On offense and on defense, Nick Sirianni never really called plays or been a head coach before. So they don't know how to prepare for him. I mean, they could go back and watch the Colts game, but Frank Wright.
That's Frank
Wright. Exactly. That's Frank Wright. So you don't know what kind of offense that they're going to run to start off with. Run heavy. I mean, we only could assume that just based on the Colts offense that the Philadelphia Eagles will be a run-heavy team, but we could only assume. So if we're assuming, what the team is assuming, what the opponent is assuming, the same thing. And then on defense, Jonathan Gannon, he never been a defensive coordinator before. He was a defensive back, but not a defensive coordinator. Yep. So now what? And then in every press conference, they never give out anything. They don't tell you nothing. Like every time the reporters say, hey, you know what kind of scheme you're going to run? It was like, hey, it's game by game. Like we don't have no scheme. And I love hearing that because automatically it reminds me of the Patriots. Bill Belichick. Like 1 week, he run the ball. You pick up that guy on fantasy football because he had 4 touchdowns. The next week, he's on the bench. So that's why I never picked nobody from the Patriots because it's
fantasy.
I never, because it's the unknown factor. And I feel like that Nick Sirianni been watching a lot of Bill Belichick, that he's like the wording and what he's saying. I mean, the little hints he's giving. I mean, but I like it though. So I feel like with that being said, that we're going to catch a couple teams by surprise the first 3-4 weeks of the season. The first 6 games is our hardest games, in my opinion. The first 6 games. If we could split 3-3 the first 6 games, we are in great shape. So, I mean, the Falcons, I think that we could beat. We would have been 3-0 against the Falcons in week 3-0. If Nelson Alligator Arm would have caught that ball on the sideline running wide open, we would have beat the Falcons. So we would have beat them 3 straight years. the wild card year, the following season opener, and then when we went back.
Yep.
So the Falcons, to me,
I think we can win that game.
Yeah, I mean, we played them so much the past 4 years that we kind of know exactly who.
Man, no Julio this time.
And no Julio this time, but Kyle Pitts is still there. So I don't know how that matchup is going to go. But yes, no Julio, because Julio is one that beat us last time on that little bubble screen, and he took off for 70 yards.
It was a block in the back.
It
should have been called, but I digress.
Yes,
but I think we can win that game.
Yeah, and then we got the 49ers
at home.
Our home opener.
Yep.
I think because I don't trust Jimmy G. Number one.
Number question is Jimmy G going to be playing or is Trey going to be playing?
That's what I'm saying. So
we don't know yet. We don't know yet.
And then if it's Trey that's playing, that's his first ever NFL start. So I don't know. And people,
and we're gonna have all the fans back. Yeah, like Philly gonna be. I mean, we had the COVID season last year, only 5,000 fans.
And then
we'll have 70,000 in here now, so it's gonna
be home.
It's gonna be tough.
Home game. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be it's gonna be lit. So I don't know. Even if Jimmy G plays, I feel like that our defensive line could get to him. And then once we start hitting him, punching him in the mouth a few times, he's going to start just like Eli Manning, just throwing it away quickly. I mean, I've seen Jimmy G play for 5, 6, 7 years now. I know exactly what he do. He does the same thing that every quarterback that start getting punched in the mouth do. They start throwing it away fast. But there are worse quarterbacks, and Jimmy G is one of them.
Yeah.
So we can easily, I think we could win that game.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like our first 3 games are very winnable because then you got Dallas, who you're really familiar with, and we always play close with them, no matter what. But then after that, that's when it starts to get tough. You got Tampa Bay, and you got Kansas City, and then you got the Panthers. It's Kansas City, Carolina, and then Tampa. So obviously Tampa and Kansas City are gonna be tough. But you know what? The Panthers that's a winnable game as well. So if all goes well, it's possible you could be 4-2. But I would take 3-3.
Yeah, I would take
it. I would take it.
Yeah, I mean 3-3. So if we survive the first 6 games, I feel like that every other team, we already been tested. How many teams is going to be tested like the Philadelphia Eagles, especially when it's home away, home away, home away? We always the NFL was like, you know what? We are about to screw the Philadelphia Eagles this year. We're going to make them travel every other game, and then we're going to give them the latest bye week ever, week 14.
Yep.
But to me,
doesn't surprise me.
But to me, I kind of like the bye being week 14 because after that, it's 4 division games. Washington football team, the Giants, Washington football team, and Dallas.
I'd rather have a late bye than an early bye.
Exactly. So now
I hate it when you get a bye week like week 4.
Week 4,
I can't stand it.
Yeah. So I'm feeling pretty good. So that's how
11-6.
I came up with my 11-6 because even if we go 3-3 the first 6 games, so there's a 17 game season, Raiders, 11 games left. Yeah,
there's not a lot of hard games left.
Our division in there,
There's our division. You got the Saints. I don't know how the Saints are going to be with how is Jameis going to be as a starter. I don't know, man. So I feel like you're right. There's a lot of winnable games after that 6-game stretch. Kansas City, Tampa Bay. That's really, really the hardest games we got. So we could come out of there 4-2. I would say that this team's going to be looking pretty set up pretty well.
Yeah. And look, just like you said, every year the division is wide. Even last year,
it was wide open.
If we beat Dallas,
we would have been in the playoffs.
Because the way the Washington football team was looking,
even Washington wasn't that good. We had to lose for them to get in. We threw the game on. Doug was like, you know what? I'm gonna put Nate Sudfeld in here. Yeah. That's why New York Giants fans were salty about that. But you know what? This division hasn't been good for the past couple years. It's been like this.
When we dominated the division, when we went to the Super Bowl.
That was the last great team that won the NFC East.
Well, and then there had not been not one repeated champ since 2004, the Eagles. 2003, 2004. That's it.
That's Washington alternating.
So yeah, exactly. So Washington is out. To me, Washington is out. So it's either Dallas. I got us, the Philly and Dallas, playing for the playoffs week 18 at Philly. Whoever wins that game is going to the playoffs. So that's how I got it, mapped out and stuff. So, but if we happen to beat Dallas in week 3, we just happen to beat them because Dak is not back.
I think we could beat them.
So I got us beating them in week 18. So that's even.
So you got us sweeping, or you got us split with Dallas?
No. I got.
So you got us losing the first game, and you got us beating.
Yeah, the first game because we went to their house and stuff like that, and we got to, But if we beat them that first game, look, man, we 4-2. Hey, we just got to keep our composure, stay hungry, and just ride it out.
I'm gonna just say this: I feel like it's more likely for us to lose to the Panthers and beat Dallas in that week 3. Let me say something about the Panthers. I feel like the Panthers are an underrated team. You know what I'm saying? They got weapons. They got McCaffrey. They got Robbie Anderson. They got DJ Moore. They drafted Terrence Marshall. They got weapons. Sam Darnold. He was not good with the Jets, but I feel like he's with a better.
Sam Darnold, though? That's what I'm saying.
He's with the weight. I don't know if I do or not. I feel like the jury's out on him because when he was with the Jets, he was with Adam Gase. I feel like he's with a better coach with Matt Rule. I think the Panthers are going to surprise people. But I still feel like that's still a winnable game. I'm not guarantee you that we're going to lose, but I feel like we know Dallas.
Exactly.
We don't know the Panthers like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we could beat both of them. But I feel like we could also not beat both of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. The only games I really I'm really sure we're not gonna win, and I don't like saying we're not gonna win the game. I don't think we're gonna beat Tampa, and I don't think if we had Nick back, I would be saying something else because you know how Nick do when he plays against Tom. He beat him last year with the Bears, and that was the game where Tom was like, it was already 4th down, and he tried to come back on the field is it talking about 5th down or something Tom Brady getting senile up there, man, getting old. But you know what? I don't feel like we can beat them, and I don't feel like we can beat Kansas City. I just feel like they got too much for us.
See, that is one of my winning games, though. It's Tampa.
Because we always beat a team we ain't supposed to beat.
Well, not only that, it's because Tampa, the previous 2 weeks, the Rams, the Dolphins, the Eagles, right? So the previous 2 weeks, I believe, is the Rams.
So it's like Dolphins. A trap game.
And then on a short week, they travel to Philly on a Thursday night game.
Short week.
So short week. And if you watch the NFL the past few seasons, you know that the short weeks are ugly games, low scoring games.
They really can be.
Or a shootout like Carson Wentz went to Green Bay. Who thought we was going to beat Green Bay at Green Bay? Nobody. So, but this is a perfect.
We got lucky, though.
Look, lucky or not, to win a championship, you have to have luck along the way. You know what I mean? So I feel like that the Tampa game, we could really win that game, especially at home. And what do we have that Tom Brady hates? Rushing defense, pass rush right up the middle. We got that.
What do we got that? Hold on, let me answer your question. What do we got that Tom Brady hates? Brandon Graham.
Yeah, Brandon Graham.
I got that autograph strip sack on my wall. But he don't like him, man. He don't like Brandon.
Yeah. So I think that's a surprise win for us. And that's when, because I think that's week 5 or week 6. I think that's the last,
that is the last game.
Yeah.
That is
so
if
we win that game, I tell you what, teams are going to start taking us seriously. I guarantee you. So I got us winning that Tampa Bay game 3-3. I got us losing to Dallas, to the Chiefs, and the Dallas, the Chiefs, and somebody in between there. So a couple statements real quick. Bobby Murphy used our first 3 rounds to build around Hurts. Now trade for a quarterback making $40 million per. That's going to be suspended and come with a ton of baggage. Look, I agree. I completely agree.
I think you're right.
I've been telling people that the past 2 days. Like, I've been tweeting about it. I made video about it. We do not need DeShaun Watson. Even if he is cleared legally, the NFL is going to take him down. We've seen the NFL take people down even when they've been cleared through the courts because it's image thing. You done stained the brand, which is the NFL. Nobody's bigger than the brand. So I thought he's still going to get suspended at least 6 to 8 games. So Rating Philly fan 21. Hey, bro, thanks for joining the stream. With the Eagle being in the rebuilding mode, it doesn't make sense to get Watson. I want to keep all 3 first-round picks, and I want to see what Jalen Hurts can do with the full season under his belt. And once again, smart Philly fans. Look, we got some smart Philly fans and some emotional. Look, I'm not going to say dumb. I'm going to say emotional. Emotional Philly fans. Emotional. But we're thinking with our heads. Like, hey, we see the numbers. We see the suspension. We see the games. We saw that Jalen Hurts that did not have a full offseason. We saw that the line was beat up. We saw his weapons was invisible. So we saw that he didn't even have training camp. He barely had practice and went out there and beat the number 1 defense. That is Jalen Hurts' ceiling to me. If you could run for over 100 plus yards, he threw, I believe, like 300 yards. I mean, he balled out against the number 1 defense. So, all right, my last question for you, man, is this. Yep. All right, so with training camp starting next Tuesday, which position battle are you most looking forward to?
That's a tough question.
Hey, give me 2 then. Give me two.
There's two main battles that I'm interested in. First one has to do with the offensive line with the left tackle with Malata and Dillard. Dillard's a former first-round pick. A lot of people forget that. But Malata is a monster. Saw what he did last year. This guy didn't even play football. This guy was playing rugby, which is almost like a more aggressive version of football, but there's a lot of like things that he didn't know how to do as far as his technique, footwork. But Jeff Stoutland really, really did a great job coaching him up. The guy looks like a seasoned veteran now. He's over here throwing these big defensive ends to the ground. Like they got nothing for him. He's over 6 feet, 8 feet tall. He's 350 plus pounds, and he can move like that. Like he's outstanding. But Dillard, I think he's going to have something too. So that's going to be interesting competition. But I got Malata winning that. And then, but other thing is the receiver group. You know, we it's like I was saying earlier, we got a lot of young guys, but nobody knows. Somebody going to be the odd man out. Somebody either going to be cut or somebody going to be on practice squad. And what I think is going to happen is, I think Rager and Devontae is obviously going to be your 2 main guys, and I think somebody like I feel like somebody like a Greg Ward, Fulgham, they're going to be in and out. It's going to be whatever the best matchup is, because that's what Nick Sirianni's been talking about. Like, you know, we ain't just going to have like certain receivers be the main players or whatever. Like, if we feel like we got a matchup that we can really exploit, then that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. So I feel like Fulgham, Greg Ward, Devontae, Jalen, and Quest are going to be – those are going to be the receivers that are going to be on the team. I think JJ, I don't even feel like I should bring his name up. It's a foregone conclusion. This guy's done. He's cooked. He's going to be working – he's going to be at Acme bagging some groceries. I'm going to go to Acme and give me some oven roasted turkey sliced thin. Give me a pound of that and some provolone. So I have my dairy meat so I can pack my sandwiches while I'm on my lunch break. You know what I'm saying? So he's out. He's done. It's over. But another guy like that's going to be not necessarily like on the bubble, but maybe some scout team, some practice squad could do him some good is John Hightower, because I think he's a really good route runner, and I think he's got really good speed. He had drop issues last year. A lot of passes. If he would have caught the ball, this guy would have had a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns for real. So I feel like some extra time working with the coaches, working on a scout team, I feel like that could do him some good.
Look, I agree. Hey, I'm going to go the other route, though. I'm going to go with the running backs group. The running back, hey, we know that Miles Sanders is number 1. But we don't know who's number 2, who's number 3, how many we going to keep, who's number 4, or what. So I'm interested to see how many we keep and who's backing up Miles Sanders and how many we be using on game day. And then the second one has to be the CB2 position. I don't know.
I don't even know at this point, bro.
Hey, that's the most position I'm looking forward to. Hey, are we going to get a free agent? Are we going to do a trade? Is it going to be Maddox on the outside, or McPherson, or James, or it just I don't know. So those are the 2 positions I'm looking forward to, because I feel like with the wide receiver, Smith, Rager, TF13, Ward. And then with the left tackle, I think it's Mariata's a job to lose. I think so, but who knows? So, but the 2 is the running back and the CB2, because I think with those 2 positions, we need to run the ball. We're going to have to run the ball to protect Ertz and to keep teams off balance with the RPO, with the sweeps, with the up the middle run. It's a lot of things that we could do if we could run the ball successfully. And then the CB2, we're playing a lot of teams this upcoming season with 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 legit wide receivers.
Even in our own division, there's even
right
great.
there.
Even just in our division, there's great receivers.
Yes.
The Cowboys got Amari, they got CD, they got Gallup. Washington has they got what's the guy's name? Terry McLaurin. They got Galladay. The Giants signed Galladay. They got good receivers, man. Yeah. We gotta be able to stop somebody. That's why I think the corner position. That's why I'm not feeling good about the other corner. Like you said, you over here talking about, well, can Maddox be the starter? Like, I don't even want to talk about Maddox. He's 5'9".
But we ain't got no option. Hey, look.
I know.
And JG,
Jaquette, like all these dudes, all these no names, it's not gonna happen. You can't have a 5'9". You can't have like Cravon, LeBlanc, and people like that. And like they can't play on the outside. These are nickel slot guys. You gotta have somebody. Scenario, that's why Howie gotta make a move.
Worst case scenario, we get nobody. Then what?
We're gonna have to go in.
I know.
The other corner couldn't get exposed. That's the worst.
So I'm hoping that off front 4 and with exotic blitz. Remember, Jim Shorts is gone. So I think that,
and we did win the Super Bowl with Jalen Mills as our best corner.
Exactly. I think with last year, us not blitzing, and we still had 40-plus sacks, either 47 or 49. We was third in the league in sacks last year without blitzing.
I'm not worried about our pass rush. I'm not worried about it.
But that's what I'm saying, though. If we could get pressure to a quarterback like 3-4 seconds, we
picked up Kerrigan, too.
Yeah, exactly. So there's going to be a lot of tip balls, a lot of sacks, a lot of strip fumbles. So
we can really get after the quarterback.
A great offensive line will protect a weak defense, a weak secondary. So hey, that's what I'm hoping on, man. So we'll see, man. Look, hey, one last time, bro. Hey, I appreciate you coming.
Appreciate you for having me, man. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Hey, no problem. Hey, let the people know where they can find you. I know your link is below. I'll put the link
obviously
on there. So
y'all can obviously check out my YouTube channel. And you can find all my information on there. You can just watch my videos. All my information is pretty much in my videos, every single video. You can follow my Twitter. You can check out my other channels as well. So you know what, JC, I really appreciate it, man. We really had a good conversation tonight, and obviously I appreciate everyone being a part of the conversation, man. And I hope we're able to do this again in the future as the season is getting closer. I would definitely be interested in doing this again sometime. So definitely reach out to me and we'll do it again.
Yes, sir, I will. And if y'all didn't know, hey, and y'all not subscribed for some odd reason to my channel, I am about 20 subs away from a second milestone, which is 200
to get
subs.
That milestone.
So, hey, look, I appreciate every one of y'all subscribers. Without y'all, this show will be boring. So I do this for y'all. So please like, comment, subscribe. I do have another show after this at 7:30 with another Eagles content creator. So come back now. Hey, don't go too far. Now. So, all right. So, hey, I appreciate y'all. And as always, go Birds.
Go Birds, baby.